Et salut à toutes et à tous, bienvenue sur la chaîne Casu Gaming pour le 5e épisode de The Council. Nous sommes avec notre héros de riche et nous devons prendre une décision. Est-ce qu'on suit Elisabeth la junkie pour s'envoyer des shoots d'alcool et d'adrénaline dans les veines, ou est-ce qu'on rejoint la sublime Emily, la femme de ma vie, enfin la femme que j'ai rencontrée il y a moins de 2 heures, mais il y avait conclure ce soir, y pense. Eh ben écoutez, je pense qu'on va rejoindre Emily. C'est pas contre Elisabeth, mais j'explorerai son cas peut-être une prochaine fois.
Excuse me, Elizabeth, but some very urgent business has cropped up. We can speak tomorrow.
J'ai une affaire hautement urgente.
Good night, madam.
Bah ouais, mais il fallait que je prenne une décision, madame. Écoutez, fruit défendu.
You took your sweet time. What did our poor Elizabeth want?
Ah ouais, d'accord. T'es direct. Mais qu'est-ce que tu fous sur mon lit? J'ai... Que fait-elle
The
là?
real question would be this. What exactly are you doing, Emily, in my room?
I've enjoyed our discussions very much, and I had hoped that we could continue them.
Emily? Have I misunderstood something here? What are you doing in my room?
And for a while now, the question has been nagging at me.
And that explains why I now find you here, in my bed. Go ahead. Ask me the question that's been burning at your lips.
I know your mother was here to meet someone, but I can't figure out who.
Oh. So that's what's been hiding behind all this.
We are both members of the Order, Louis. Let's try to be honest with each other.
Ben si, justement, je veux avoir des secrets.
There in Paris, in connection with Mr. von Borchardt, you managed to steal something from him, if I'm not mistaken.
Non mais, incroyable quoi. Elle est en petite tenue sur mon lit, et genre, elle fait genre, dis donc, j'aimerais bien que tu me répondes, et après je te laisse faire ce que tu veux. Non mais tu crois quoi? Je vais pas me faire avoir? Je vais pas me faire avoir? Ah par contre, difficulté 2 en interrogatoire? Ah la vache, bon allez, allons-y.
Emily, you suddenly seem to be
Épuisé, vous vous êtes heurté à une immunité, un point d'effort est bloqué. Ah
very
bordel.
interested in my private affairs. You aren't pumping me for information, are you?
Not in the least, Louis. I'm deeply hurt that you'd even think such a thing of me.
Look, I'm sorry. I just thought that...
Well, you thought wrong. I was interested in you, that's all. But that seems to...
Oui, ça me dépasse.
Don't take it like that. My mother and I recovered an old occult book that von Burchard was planning to resell on the black market. There. Now you know it all.
This is quite fascinating. But just what did Sarah expect to accomplish here?
Difficulté 2, coût réduit de 3. Eh, ça me coûte 0, trop bien. Allez savoir.
If only I knew myself. My mother always takes a sly pleasure in telling me as little as possible.
Oh, poor little Louis. Your mother hides things from you. That's not very nice.
No, it's not nice at all. And you, what were you supposed to do once the book was found?
Give it to our sponsor, of course. Sir Gregory has more than one card up his sleeve.
So you mean home is playing both sides?
Right. Enough chatting. Come and join me instead.
Oh mon dieu, mais ce choix, non, mais je rigolais dans l'épisode précédent quand je disais toutes ces choses très sexistes. Ah ouais, mais... Non, désolé. Ne me laisse pas
Don't take
distraire.
this the wrong way, but I really don't think this would be a good idea right now.
I see. You don't think it would do you some good to relax and clear your mind a bit?
Non, justement, j'ai tendance à me poser plus de questions.
I understand, Louis. I won't insist any further.
Thanks, Emily.
Merci, Émilie. Vous pouvez vous rhabiller et partir. J'ai plus de points d'énergie. Très débloqué, intègre. Ah! Ouais, enfin vite fait, hein. J'ai quand même menti au prêtre dès le début de l'aventure. Et je me suis laissé avoir en plus. Hein. Je me demande d'ailleurs si il m'aurait demandé de lire la lettre si je l'avais pas ouverte. Le jeu serait salaud s'il faisait ça. Bonjour. Ah. On me demande.
Lord Mortimer?
Monsieur de Richet, at last we meet.
Ah, Mortimer. Ta-na-na-na. Et voilà, fin du chapitre 4 de l'épisode 1. J'aurais pu en apprendre plus sur le passé d'Elisabeth et ma mère. J'aurais pu passer la nuit avec Émilie. Ben ouais, mais mon gars, j'ai pris des décisions et j'ai rien raté. Je suis content. Je suis très content. Eh ben écoutez, on repart. Allez, ah, crotte de pique. Bon, j'ai quand même gagné pas mal de points, j'ai trouvé plein de petits objets, c'était cool. Alors, j'ai 4 points disponibles. Qu'est-ce que j'en fais? Oh la vache. 10 points restants avant le niveau 3, compétences gratuites. C'est ultra abusé. Je vais mettre des points en subterfuge. Ce qui va me permettre du coup de débloquer un certain nombre de petits coffres très intéressants. Et je vais débloquer diversion. Voilà. En fait, je vais débloquer plus ou moins tout, comme ça au bout d'un moment, ça finira par devenir intéressant et j'aurai plus d'accès au dialogue. Ah oui, du coup, on a terminé le chapitre 1. Wow, par contre, on a débloqué plein de récompenses sur Steam. Il va falloir, je pense, aller regarder ça. Un de ces 4. Nickel. Choisissez une quête. Eh ben, commencez à 8, commencez à 11, commencez à 14, le vote final. Une quête. Très bien. Eh ben, écoutez, on va commencer le deuxième épisode maintenant, hein, puisqu'on y est. Où est ma mère? Where is my mother? Boop.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Bah ouais, mais maman, en même temps, tu disparais.
Fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
I do apologize for being late. I was obliged to clear up some urgent business.
Ok. Waouh. Ah ouais, on commence comme ça, direct. Très bien. Parfait. Putain, j'ai toujours pas débloqué... Ah, faut que je rassemble les pages du manuscrit. Logique, psychologie, érudition, conviction. J'ai droit de lire 2 livres. Écoute, on va pas se priver. C'est parti. Pour la suite. Bureau de Lord Mortimer. The Council. Épisode 2. Hide and Seek.
Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. However, there may be some new developments, but I don't know if they are linked to your mother. We have found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room. I'm afraid she was brutally murdered.
Oh merde.
several times.
Je me doutais qu'Elisabeth allait finir mal. Bon bah, elle est morte. Très bien. Je l'ai croisée hier soir.
I can't believe it. We bumped into each other last night on our way to bed.
Yes, I know. Duchess Hillsborough informed us that she accompanied you at the beginning of the evening. You apparently bumped into Miss Adams, who wanted to speak to you. We are told you turned her away, and she went away on her own.
That's correct.
Do you know what she wanted to see you about, by any chance?
Elle semblait confuse.
She seemed upset about something. I thought she was under the influence of alcohol, but we didn't really speak.
Pity. The poor child was probably trying to find help.
I thought it could wait until tomorrow.
Apparently not.
Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed.
I understand. What do you intend to do?
I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why is that?
You met Elizabeth. We spoke together, I believe. She trusted you. Listen, Louis. Find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer. I want to know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Des détails sur ce drame?
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
Y a-t-il des suspects?
Do you have any suspects in mind, my lord?
I spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi. So I think you can remove them from the list of suspects. Monsieur Bonaparte and President Washington left the party after midnight, I believe. They were tired and went up to bed.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. And once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting.
Ok. Ah, on va enquêter.
You've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified and they agree.
Trop bien. Est-ce que j'ai le droit de fouiller aussi vos appartements, monsieur? Non, parce que ça sent la richesse, hein, quand même. Oh là 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 là. Il y a un petit oiseau, il fait des bruits. Il fait des quick. Coucou, toi. Petit oiseau. Alors. Léviathan. On va se rééquiper un petit peu parce que quand même, on a utilisé beaucoup trop de trucs. Donc on va refaire le plein progressivement. Ah, en plus il y a plein de trucs. Tout ça tombe bien. Hop. Clé à motif occulte de l'eau.
Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form? Charming.
Pourquoi à chaque fois il y a un petit Dante? Et pourquoi il y a un trou au milieu de votre maison? Est-ce que c'est pour balancer des gens? Est-ce qu'on va avoir un twist à la 300 en mode pour Sparta? Et une pièce de collection. Allez, de toute façon, on est là pour fouiller partout. Je vois qu'il y a plein de trucs, hein. Comme ça. Élixir d'or. Une boîte.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
ARSN. A-R-S-N. Modifier la première lettre. C. K. Non. J'ai pas la solution de cette énigme pour le moment. C'est pas grave. De toute façon, il y a beaucoup trop de choses encore très mystérieuses dans cette aventure. Alors, on va pouvoir sortir d'ici. On va aller parler à Piegui quand même. Tiens, j'avais pas vu, il y avait un coffre là-bas. Non, j'ai pas le droit de l'ouvrir. Très bien. Allez, allons lui parler.
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble. It's probably nothing.
Sait-il pourquoi?
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear. Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become infatuated with a fragile young woman who looked a bit lost. But I don't think he got a very warm welcome.
Bonaparte and Adams? But they didn't even know each other, did they?
I couldn't say. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Perry. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry. He's on the list of suspects.
Ok, bon. Donc, on a parlé à Piegui. Lui, évidemment, il est hors de soupçon. Mais bon, au cas où, ça peut toujours être utile. On peut en apprendre un peu plus. Ah ouais, d'accord. Et donc, on retourne ici. Parfait. Alors, par quoi on commence? On va plutôt commencer, je pense, par la chambre. On va commencer par la chambre de notre décédé. Comme ça, ça va nous permettre ensuite d'éliminer progressivement nos suspects. Tiens.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
No, nothing special.
Lord Mortimer must have informed you of the necessity for everyone to remain in their rooms until further notice.
Certainly, but I'm a guest, not a prisoner. I was looking for a servant, since we don't all, unfortunately, have one at our disposal.
Yeah, right.
I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Ah, j'aurais pu le questionner. Hein. J'aurais pu le questionner, mais... est-ce que j'avais les moyens vraiment nécessaires pour le faire correctement? Ça, c'est une bonne question. Bon, tant pis. Allez, on va fouiller la chambre d'Elisabeth. Et puis, on va voir un petit peu dans quel état c'est. Ok. Alors, où est-ce qu'elle est? Ah oui, en effet. Elle est bien morte et remorte. Très bien. Alors. Ouais, d'accord, donc toi tu m'accompagnes, parfait. Qu'est-ce que nous avons là? 3h54. 3h54, très bien. Examiner le symbole.
Contrary to what most people believe, the pentagram's not there to conjure up, I don't know what evil or demonic creature. With the point toward the top, the pentagram is an ancient symbol of protection against evil.
Ah, ça, je ne savais pas. Intéressant. Je me rappelle les ouvrages de mère.
Esoteric rituals are based on this shape. Could Elizabeth have been sacrificed during an occult ritual?
Quel est le rapport avec la mort d'Elisabeth? On va éviter de gaspiller pour l'instant de l'énergie à ça.
A notebook, written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out.
Érudition indisponible. J'ai rien du tout. Crotte de bique. Alors ça...
June 11th.
Ouais, ça c'est les lettres qu'on avait déjà lues la dernière fois.
Piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk.
Ah, de la
By the
soie.
texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear.
Voyons ce que cela me rappelle.
The color doesn't correspond to Emily's black outfits, and Elizabeth doesn't have anything quite like this in her wardrobe. Let's take a closer look. It's a little dirty. It must come from the bottom of the dress where it touches the ground. I recognize that moire pattern. It's the same as the travel dress my mother was wearing when she left. But why the hell did she come into this room?
Étrange. Très étrange. Donc là, on a tout ce qu'il faut. Oh, une arme à feu. Qu'est-ce que ça fout là? Et pourtant, elle est morte.
Fairly new, I'd say. And judging by the weight of it, fairly light.
Mais surtout, elle s'est pris des coups de couteau, donc... Vérifiez l'intérieur du canon.
Extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded, and there's no traces of gunshot residue. I'd conclude that it hasn't been used recently.
On va observer la crosse.
With a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. A tribute engraved on the barrel. To the liberators of France. Right. I shall have to find its owner.
Mais je l'ai, moi, son propriétaire. C'est ce gros enfoiré qui essayait de la tabasser la dernière fois. Ok. Très bien. Bon. Je vais continuer mon exploration dans 2 secondes. Je vous retrouve.
Vials of laudanum.
Du laudanum.
The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
Du laudanum. Alors attendez. C'est quel pouvoir qui me permet... Ouais, c'est de l'eau de mélisse. Allez. Je pense que ça doit servir.
Large quantities could knock out a bull. Could Elizabeth have been drugged? If the body wounds are anything to go by, then clearly not. She put up a fierce fight.
Ok. Alors, qui a tenté de l'empoisonner? Est-ce qu'elle s'est automédicalisée? Ça pourrait être possible. Hein. Elle pourrait très bien avoir pris des médicaments justement pour ça, mais quand même étrange. C'est quand même étrange. Et donc ici, nous avons aussi des choses. Ah bah oui, une gelée royale, parfait. Moi, il récupère la gelée royale. Oh.
The lower part of the handle is unsullied by blood. The murderer gripped the weapon so tight that there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand.
blade is short and thin. Well sharpened, apparently. It's covered in blood. Still fresh.
Est-ce que je prends le temps d'analyser l'arme? Non. On va garder nos points pour l'instant et on va voir s'il y a des choses à faire. Du sang.
Poor girl bled to death. Whoever left that footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size 15. Where's a size like that here? Peru? Washington, maybe.
Du 49.
Knocked over a bottle of wine. What kind of plonk is that? Hey, it's a Bordeaux. That's a Chateau de Briand. It's a great wine. I don't know what's happened to this wine, but it's undrinkable.
Ah, je crois que je me suis pourri moi-même. Non, c'était pas ça. Oh, putain. Voilà. Et en plus, j'ai utilisé un mauvais pouvoir. Ouais. Elle avait les yeux bien injectés de sang.
There are numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars.
Des scarifications, peut-être.
Scarring, ugh. Scarring isn't very regular, but they're mostly from old cuts. Scars are superficial and were made several years ago. She wasn't trying to take her own life.
Alors, les tatouages. Bon, j'ai quand même au moins... j'ai pas érudition ni linguistique, mais... Sigillum de aimé.
She had the sigillum de aimé tattooed on her. The symbol of the living God. Written in the language of angels, according to believers. It is rare for someone to know about symbols like this at her age. Unless her mother was a tutor.
Revenir au bras. Signification des scarifications.
People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control.
Ok, bon, revenons au corps. Le torse.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax, with a lot of blood. At first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death. Some of these tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin. Probably during childhood. If the scars are anything to go by. It's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body.
Ok, bien glauque. Examiner les plaies, observer les plaies. Il y a sûrement un truc à faire parce que justement les coups de couteau ont été... Allez, observons.
It looks as though the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle. As if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth.
Et j'ai plus assez de miel pour faire le reste. La tête, les mains, les jambes. Tête.
I see no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture. She also has old scars around the neck, or maybe mutilations.
Examiner son nez.
She bled from the nose.
Mhm.
What a strange smell.
Je connais cette odeur.
Breath. It smells of alcohol and of laudanum. We'll use it to relieve pain.
Ok. Revenir au corps. Examiner les mains.
Wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol. This pinnacle is a trap. The wearers of the pinnacle thought that they were protected from evil by surrounding it inside the different circles of the pinnacle.
D'accord. Examinons enfin les jambes.
But no trace of blows on the legs. More tattoos, similar to those on the rest of her body.
Et je ne peux rien faire d'autre parce que je n'ai plus de points. Oh la vache. C'est la dèche. On va parler au majordome.
Has finished with this room?
Do you know who could have made such a mess of this room?
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was, so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir. Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum, during which she would destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir. Has finished with this room?
I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well, sir. Sir may return whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
Ok. Et ben, du coup, sortons. Très bien. On a donc pas mal d'éléments. On a déjà pas mal d'éléments. Continuons nos inspections de chambre.
President George Washington.
On va aller dans la chambre de George Washington. Le journal des inspecteurs. Ah, rat de bibliothèque, trop bien. C'est quoi, rat de bibliothèque ? Vous pouvez équiper un manuscrit supplémentaire. Trop bien. Ça, c'est perfecto. Ah, bordel, c'est du miel en plus. C'est parfait, c'est ce qui me manque.
Golden elixir. I'll keep it for later.
Je suis désolé, monsieur, mais je me sers. Hein.
A map of Connecticut.
Bonjour, monsieur. Je fouille vos affaires, vous inquiétez pas. Je fais ma petite affaire, tranquillou, relax. Hop là. Allez, parlons-lui.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Alors, j'ai quasiment plus de points, mais c'est pas grave, on va en reprendre en attendant. Lui avait-il parlé?
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered. Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr. President?
She said she had terrible migraines that wouldn't go away.
More likely for the voices she heard, not the migraines.
Ok, autre. Alors, est-ce qu'elle avait des ennemis?
Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Peru, but that case was closed if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened. And I'd go and question your fellow countrymen.
Don't worry. Countryman or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks. Do you know why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Lord Mortimer has a talent for healing, apparently. I'm not surprised Sir Gregory advised her to come.
Agreed. Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured. It looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue.
Ok, bon. Bah, comme prévu, George Washington va pas nous être d'une très grande aide. Je me demande s'il a quelque chose à cacher. Bon. On va lire ses lettres, de toute façon, c'est le but. Mon cher George, je t'invite à me rejoindre comme prévu chez moi. J'ai un projet à te soumettre. Il est temps que les États-Unis prennent une place plus importante sur l'échiquier mondial. Je connais tes réticences à jouer avec le feu. Je sais que ton nouveau pays est bien jeune, mais sois assuré que je ne ferai rien pour mettre en péril ce que nous avons déjà bâti ensemble. Au plaisir de te revoir prochainement, ton ami William.
Looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals.
Allez. Décrypter la lettre.
English and the Americans are preparing a peace treaty. It would appear that Emily is in secret discussion with Washington about reopening trade between the United States and England. If such an arrangement came into being, France would suffer dearly.
Ok. Bon. Continuons d'explorer. Ah, ouvlant.
They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
De l'eau de carme, parfait.
Portrait of George Washington.
Un portrait dans un portrait, parfait. J'adore la logique. De la gelée royale, donc comme quoi j'ai pas tout à fait perdu mon temps. Très bien, donc George Washington, il en sait pas plus. Tant pis. On va continuer. Alors.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Ah oui, non, le cardinal, on l'a déjà vu. On peut pas visiter son appartement pour l'instant.
Huh. That's me.
Hop, donc Louis de Richer, on l'a vu.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Manuel Godoy, ça a l'air d'être ok. Napoléon Bonaparte. Je crois que c'est lui. Hein.
Hannibal crossing the Alps. Another military success. Why do I get nothing but visions of horror in my room? And he gets victory after victory?
Bonne question, mon cher.
The Prince by Machiavelli. The perfect read for anyone with a circle of ambition. That might come in handy.
Hop. Immunité découverte. Politique. Ah, bonjour. Je viens vous voir dans 2 secondes.
Bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
Évidemment. Évidemment.
Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better. The Battle of Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another one with delusions of grandeur.
Alors, allons dans la chambre. Ouh, il y a des trucs.
Golden elixir. Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar by Royer, 2 great army chiefs.
Alors, qu'est-ce que nous avons là? Mon cher Napoléon, comme convenu, je vous invite à vous joindre à nous en janvier sur mon île afin de participer au rendez-vous mondain organisé pour l'occasion. Nous aurons l'occasion de rediscuter de notre projet d'un nouvel ordre pour la France. J'ai une proposition à vous faire concernant vos envies de placer un homme fort à la tête de la France. Je vous fais confiance pour rester discret sur votre venue. À très bientôt, Lord William Mortimer. Ok.
There's just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in it.
Donc, ça doit être le pistolet du coup de Napoléon qui se trouve dans la pièce. Ça paraît évident. Ça paraît évident. Alors.
A fragment of amber.
Parfait. Et pour terminer, une petite pièce.
A Russian ruble. What would it be worth today?
Oh.
It's a beautiful weapon. Lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles.
Conviction. Mon très cher fils, je me permets de t'écrire à nouveau afin de t'implorer d'agir vite. La situation se dégrade rapidement ici. Paoli continue d'orienter notre mère patrie, la Corse, vers une guerre ouverte entre la France et l'Angleterre. Ces hommes sont partout. Nous nous cachons désormais afin de ne pas rester plus de 2 jours au même endroit. Je ne serais pas étonné qu'ils s'en prennent à nous très prochainement. Dépêche-toi, mon fils. Tu tiens notre destin entre tes mains. Ta mère qui t'aime, Maria Laetitia Bonaparte. Mais oui, parce que la mère de Bonaparte avait une place très très importante. Dans sa famille, la femme avait tous les pouvoirs, enfin, une bonne partie de pouvoir. Eh ben parfait, c'est pas perdu.
Monsieur de Richer, please be quick. We are both very busy.
Alors.
Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord Mortimer asked me to...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Avec qui?
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Thank you.
Ah, And His Eminence Piaget as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all, except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave.
What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted, couldn't think straight. So I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No. As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Someone saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
Je me sens mais tellement content de ne pas avoir cet accent-là en anglais.
I've been studying him for a while now, and I don't think he was lying. Yet, I'm surprised how easy it was for me to read him. It must surely be his military side. I wish they all could be like that. My investigation would be finished already.
Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Ok. Bon, eh ben on en a fini avec Napoléon. Parfait. Good evening, mister. Parfait. Par ici. Jacques Pérou. Bon, eh ben écoutez, on va s'arrêter là pour ce nouvel épisode. On ira voir Jacques Pérou et le reste des personnes qui se trouvent dans le bâtiment. Ça sera la prochaine fois. Je vous remercie tous et toutes d'avoir regardé cet épisode. N'hésitez pas à laisser un petit pouce bleu ou un commentaire si ça vous fait plaisir, à partager évidemment ces chouettes vidéos. On se retrouvera la prochaine fois pour, j'espère, avancer très sérieusement dans cette enquête. On va finir d'interroger et on va essayer de comprendre qu'est-ce qui s'est passé, comment cette demoiselle a pu mourir de manière aussi dégoûtante. Allez, à très vite pour de nouvelles aventures.